It's hard to understand the way that you went out. I bet you're living with a little hint of doubt. Maybe next time when you gotta show your hand, you won't cut and run, you'll finally make a stand. 'Cause I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. We're not through. Yeah, I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. Existential questions always get you down. All you want to know is are we lost or found? Is there something that you feel you need to chase? I bet you thought you'd put me in my place. 'Cause I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. We're not through. I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. Yeah, I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. We're not through. Yeah, I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. You can run, you can hide, but inside, I'm finally getting to you. Yes, it's true. I still love you, but I am getting to you.
Stand by to initiate release sequencer. On my mark. 5,
We're on express elevator to hell. Going down.
2, 1. Mark.
Or both at them once.
Welcome back to the Resupply with me, guy next door.
Me, DK.
And me, Than. Oh, that was poor, really poor timing on doing that.
Goodness
Jesus.
me. We're bringing you your weekly double tap of War Things, Space Marines, and Laser Force. Nailed it. Absolutely nailed it.
Nailed it.
As
Best
always.
ever intro.
Yay, tick issues. G&D audio sync out? By what, like a smidgen or like by heaps? That doesn't
Those being
bode
the
well.
official units of measurement in New Zealand.
What, a smidgen?
Oh,
Hello,
it's
everyone.
Better now.
It's better.
Better now. So
yeah.
it's just a quick. Yeah. Cool.
Why'd you do that to me, Stallion? About 5 minutes out. I'm about a day behind. Hello, gentlemen. How are we doing on this this fine Saturday morning / Friday evening?
Yeah. Friday evening. You are a day ahead, bro. Why is this? Why do we continue to have this conversation? Time zones are not that hard. Maybe they
Speak
are.
for yourself.
Whatever.
Boy, what a big week it's been. there's
Has it though?
yeah, there's been a bit of change. Nice to see everyone in chat. Hello, chat. How are we doing? How's everyone's week been? I hope you guys have had a much better week than I have. It's been a rough one. But that's okay. I feel much better now. New Zealand has gone into full level 4 lockdown, so by order of the Peaky Blinders, no one's allowed to go outside. Unfortunately,
Got that reference.
Yeah, you know
Out-
it.
Outside is very overrated.
fucking blinders.
New South Wales just went up to 825 cases. All right, so we're on rookie numbers. We need to pump those numbers up.
No,
Or what
hang on.
America calls Monday.
or what Texas calls like
1:30 p.m.
we had like literally I think last week was 15,500 new cases in Texas
Goodness me,
because Texas.
you guys don't have
Yeah.
COVID there.
No, not at all.
Um,
Fucking bullshit.
right, we have a bit of a big show ahead. And there's not too much to kind of recap from the last little while. Ahoy, Lucy. Nice to see you. We've got a guess. You guys know who it is. Because we spent last week kind of, making sure that we made mention and stuff. If you'd like to check out our guest's website, !Tivia in chat, Tivia. Watch you both immediately go to your keyboards.
Damn it! You beat me, stupid Dan.
I thought I'd set up a thing where it's gonna pop up, but I don't think it is. So we'll just have to spam chat every 15 minutes or so, and we'll bring Tivia in a minute.
Don't give heathen ideas.
He's just like spam.
Do not spam this one today, Heathen.
We've also queued up a fun little multimedia presentation, which we will get to in a moment as well. But firstly, a quick T's and P's to everyone who's doing it tough at the moment. Hopefully, we can be an hour and a half of respite for you, because that's how we kind of try to be every week. Look at them links. Glorious links.
We'll recycle some of the promotions later in the
That's right, we shall.
in the show.
Yeah. Do either of you have anything in particular you want to bring up before we kind of get into things today?
Now let's bring in our guest as soon as we can. Let's run that promo video.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
We'll quickly run this
I think
video. Watch us.
everything I need to say I said last week. We're good.
Watch how seamless this is. Now we'll have our mics still working, so no talking during the presentation. Thank you. All right. Some people. And any questions? Save them till the end, and yeah, please enjoy this multimedia presentation. Watch how seamless this is. Boom. Oh, magic.
Hey, it's Tivia, and I am excited to announce with my friend Jeff Willey, who's the owner of Loveland Laser Tag, the next host site for this quarter's Tag for a Cause. I challenge you to laser tag 5 kilometers. You want to take on the Laser Tag 5K challenge? 3 easy steps. 1. Pledge to laser tag 5 kilometers in any laser tag arena anywhere. 2. Make a donation to our cause. This time around, we're supporting the Dorian Katz Memorial Cancer Foundation. You can find all of the information at tiviachick.lasertag.com. And then 3, I send you a victory medal to reward you for accomplishing your 5K laser tag goal. Join us. We're going to have a special Tag for a Cause night at Loveland Laser Tag in Loveland, Colorado, September 18th. Come on out. Jeff's been very generous to offer to donate $4 from the sale of each all-you-can-play pass to people who participate in Tag for a Cause. So you can have a full night of laser tag, and we're going to have a high-score trophy competition. We'll see you September 18th in Loveland, Colorado. Loveland Laser Tag. Tag for a Cause.
Dope. All right, let's switch this across. One moment. Let's go here. Boom. We're consummate professionals. Hey Tivia, how are you? Thank you for coming on. It's very nice to see you.
Hey guys, this is fun. Thank you so much for having me.
Not a problem.
Our pleasure.
I was saying obviously before the show that that I'll tell the story here because why not? We got put on. Well, you came on our radar like about a year or so ago, I think it was, and our good friend in chat, Stallion, aka Necroma, sent me. I'll tell the story here because content 100%. He sent me a link to your website, and I thought it was friggin' awesome. Mostly because it's really nice to see other people who really dig laser tag as much as we do. In fact, probably more. Probably more than we do. But yeah, it took a little while for us to reach out, mostly because I'm a little bit useless. But the timing kind of worked out okay because obviously there was fake nets that happened recently, and you are currently raising funds to a charity, which we'll talk about in a minute. But yeah, it was really awesome to see your website. For anyone that hasn't seen the website, again, !Tivia in chat. I highly recommend you check it out if you're a fan of laser tag in general, because it's kind of a one-stop online museum or record of sorts of tag. It's crazy. But yes, thank you very much again for joining us today. I've been excited. DK, would you like to kick us off?
Yes, no problem. I will do the interview master stuff. So, Tivia, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your background in laser tag? Because I'm sure you have stories to tell us.
Sure. Well, I actually have an origin story for my laser tag travels that is probably a lot of people, because I grew up in New York, and to my knowledge, when I was younger, there was no laser tag around. There may have been that was far enough away that I wasn't aware, but I grew up in the days when Photon, the very first laser tag, was trying to kind of branch out and market itself a little bit differently. And there was a TV show, and it is cheesy as everybody will acknowledge that, but I was 6 at the time, so I didn't realize how cheesy it was. That was my introduction to laser tag, and I saw it on the TV, and it looked so cool. And there was this woman playing a laser tag ninja princess, and her character name was Tivia. So that is where the Tivia name came from originally. And so fast forward a number of years, that is totally in the back of my brain somewhere and doesn't come to the forefront until roughly around 2006-ish, I think, was when I first started playing laser tag. I went to the Fun Junction, which was in DeWitt, New York. It's no longer, but that was my very first site where I cut my teeth playing Zone Infusion. And it was Photon. It was as close as I could get, and it was what I remembered. So I started going there, and it was kind of casual in the beginning. I played for I don't know, a couple of years before it just sort of faded away, and I got away from it. And then it stayed off my radar until about 2014. And in 2014, that was the year that laser tag celebrated its 30th birthday with Phocon, the very first Phocon, which was a celebration of Photon and the birthday of laser tag on the 30th anniversary of when it was invented by George Carter III in Dallas, Texas in 1984. So 2014, that's 30 years down the line. And I stumble on this online and I say, oh my gosh, I've got to be a part of this. And so took a trip to Laurel, Maryland to XP Laser Sport. And from there, well, actually a little before I got there, I thought, if I'm going to go down to this where all these people who loved laser tag from 30 years back and probably still do, if they're playing, I had better learn what I'm doing. So I started going to the local arena. And at that point, it was still Zone. They had changed gear, but I was still going back to the Fun Junction. And then I went to the event, had a great time, and that's really what lit a fire under me to get back into it with a vengeance. And shortly after, that's when I started the blog. That's when I started becoming a member at the Fun Warehouse in Syracuse, and I was having a blast with it. But I was really kind of far removed from a lot of laser tag. I have to go about an hour and a half in any direction if I want to play. And I thought, well, I'm willing to go an hour and a half. Maybe I'll go a little bit further. I jumped into my first tournament was Armageddon. So
okay.
And from there, I realized, boy, I really kind of like the idea of being into competitive things and just seeing what else is out there, because I got to sample sort of a smorgasbord of all these different laser tags at once playing in Armageddon. So from there, I began my travels, and I decided that it would be kind of a cool goal to play laser tag in every state, which I accomplished in the beginning of 2019 on Laser Tag Day, 35 years to the anniversary of laser tag. And since then, I just haven't stopped. And I love to travel, and I go all over creation, and I experience the good, the bad, the ugly. I just about competitive sites. I'm about playing all sites, all systems, and just enjoying whatever the experience is in front of me and getting to play a variety.
It's really refreshing because the way I would describe us is probably force snobs. That's probably the term I would go with. We people people get their like
The term
favorite
chauvinist myself.
quite a, we're all partial to Laser Force as a system, and we've jokingly said about other systems in previous pods, and it's mostly joking. I think that if you have a passion for laser tag as a whole, that's a really good thing. It's funny you mentioned Photon. I have a boxed home Photon system with the helmets and stuff sitting on my shelf over there, which I haven't ever busted out, but I was kind of hoping. We were supposed to host the Laser Force Space Marines Internationals last year, and that was last year? Yeah, last year.
Yeah.
Stupid COVID.
It seems so recent.
Yeah. I was kind of hoping to bust out that kit at the site, and I've been meaning to do so ever since. So, very special place in our hearts for Photon, especially.
Well, I'll share something sort of special about Photon if I can angle it behind. Where is it? Oh, you gotta look very carefully, but right there, that is an actual Photon pack.
With the helmet?
That little red dot.
Yeah.
Right around
Oh, yeah.
That's the helmet, not the home version, but the one
quality
that,
one.
the real one.
Yeah, the one that's less flimsy.
That was acquired from XP Laser Sport.
Oh, that's so cool. And so in terms of, because obviously you've got quite the collection behind you, is that stuff that you've kind of acquired from sites that you visited, or is that more like, the site was closing down, hey, have you guys, do you want to chuck me a suit?
Well, there's a story behind everything.
Yes.
Packs, plural, were gifted to me. I went to an arena and I was just chatting with the owner, and he happened to have a whole lot of things hidden behind his wall, and he had a vector pack and a stunner pack. And
What?
he said, you want to see the stunner?
Yes, because so funny thing about Stunner, like there was a brief period of time where somebody who was involved with Laser Force Sacramento was actually looking at purchasing Stunner as and basically trying to bring it up to Laser Force standard, as it were. So there was a moment. Yeah.
Well, those packs, he just out of the blue said, you're a collector, you're a fan. How would you like to take something home? And I didn't actually take it home that day. He shipped it to me. But
That's awesome.
So those were my first, and so they're really special to me for that reason. And then along the way, some have been gifts, some have been purchases from various places. I've had people from different manufacturing companies that have been kind enough to gift me things. And some of the things that I've purchased have been from places that have either closed down or were switching over their gear. Like I do have one of the Gen 6 packs from Syracuse over there from when they were upgrading to Gen 8.
Amazing.
I mean, why not at that point?
Oh, that was sentimental to me at that point, yeah.
So I have a penchant for hoarding things. So seeing your room, immediately. One or two. I have one or two things lying around here. But yeah, seeing your room just makes me incredibly jealous. If GT wasn't already married.
Love to be something of I view myself sort of like a historian, and I've been in the process of doing some things, some videos for the Laser Tag Museum. Now, if you think my collection is something, you should see the Laser Tag Museum collection. Lasertagmuseum.com. You can go and see it all. But I've been doing some interviews, an oral history of laser tag with some of the people who were involved directly, some of the key people from the manufacturers. So I just kind of view everything I do as documenting some history. Some of it's my personal history, and some of it is industry history that I just don't want to see go away.
And that's the immediate feel that I got when I visited your website, because you walk in and it's half museum, half love letter to laser tag, which is just such a beautiful mix of things. It's just yeah. As an enthusiast of laser tag, is something that we kind of all can appreciate, I think. Laser tag museum. I want to go there.
Yeah,
I want to go to there.
I wish it was my house.
And Al is blowing me up in chat to get my evil telecom corporation that I work for to fund the museum. Al, I think it's funny that you think they let me anywhere near the money. That's
actually
Is at the museum. You can certainly go to the website, and they have lots of things in depth. But on my website, under the section that's marked interviews, there is a tour of the Laser Tag Museum, so you can see kind of the highlights pretty quickly. And it's a guided tour by Eric Guthrie, who's the curator, and very
Eric.
Yep.
knows.
Dan and I have both met Eric.
Repeatedly.
Mm-hmm.
Hashtag humble brag.
He is definitely an interesting individual.
A character, one might say.
The collection, so you can kind of get
that, yes.
what and some of the cool things that they have there.
Now there is a lot on your website. This might be so. DK's the organized one here and has like a list of questions. So apologies if I stand on your toes. But how far, how in depth or how far back does your content on the site kind of reach? Like, does that go all the way back to when you started, or is it kind of front loaded?
The website, I started in 2014 after FOCON and after I'd had such a great time and really decided to delve into this more seriously. So it began with a blog spot, which I actually still maintain as sort of a backup blog. And at the time when I first started writing my blog, it wasn't a full-blown website. It was just me kind of journaling what I did at laser tag last night. And I never thought that anybody was going to look twice at it, to be honest, at that point. But I started getting some good feedback, and I started growing it, and I can't remember exactly when it turned into a full-fledged website, but it wasn't sooner than 2014.
Right.
That first started doing a couple of interviews and first started just baby stepping into it, when honestly I knew very little about anything at that point. So
that's the best place to start from. We're still at that point of knowing very little about what it is that we do, but we're muddling our way through it. Digger, what do you got?
Consistently muddling.
We saw that you had a collection of different Laser Force vests, or laser tag vests, excuse me, in the background. I saw some Qzar, you had the Photon, Laser Quest. So of the systems you played, which one is your favorite, and why is it Laser Force?
Well, that's not a loaded question at all, but I'll tell you, I probably play more Laser Force at this point because that is what surrounds me the most where I am currently in New York. Somebody told me once that they feel like whatever system you started on, that's bound to be your first love and the system that you call your favorite. And so I began on Zone. That's what I feel most comfortable with, but I honestly don't have any site near me to play right now, whereas I have 4 laser force sites within an hour and a half radius around me. So that's what I play the most. And why do I love it? Because it's laser tag, because I love the people I get to play with. I've got some great people out in Syracuse that I get to play with just about every week if I'm not traveling somewhere. I also really enjoy playing out in Albany. I used to go to Albany for zone. I'd say Albany was zone and Syracuse was force. And it just varied by the times and what was open. But right now there's a couple of different locations. So I go wherever the mood strikes. And it's the competitive nature of the game, but it's not that I have to play super competitively every time. I mean, I'm just as happy going in with a public group. And honestly, that's really what I do. I don't consider myself at all an SM5 player. We were talking about Fake Nats just happened in Syracuse. I was not a participant in that. I was running an event or sort of a side event as part of it. But the problem with being an hour and a half away from the nearest laser tag is that when those guys choose to practice, 9 or 10 on a weeknight and I have a job to be back at, it makes it very tough for me to really sink my teeth into something. So I play public. I play a little bit. I'll go to a member night, now and again. And so I play a tiny bit, but I don't consider myself in the league of an SM5 player. I'm just somebody who sort of knows the mechanics, and you can give me a phaser and I run around.
I mean, that's fair.
Shout out to the Fun Warehouse just while we're there.
Sure.
Satch is a bloody great owner. So shout out
Indeed.
to those guys.
Bloody great owner, friend of the show, all that good stuff.
All that good stuff. What's really good about playing in those public games as well is that you can, as somebody who plays a lot of tag, you have a direct influence over how much fun other individuals in the maze have. But it's one thing to go to a public session and kind of be all high and mighty and I'm awesome, I'm going to waste you and blah blah blah. But if you go the other way and really encourage people in the maze and hey, oh my gosh, nice shot, and all that kind of stuff, then you it's almost your role as like a custodian or like a cheerleader for the game, because then if they're like, I had such a positive experience playing laser tag that one time, hopefully they come back. So
Absolutely.
It's really cool.
In fact, I often said, in fact, I just wrote on my blog maybe a week or so ago, I was relating an experience. When I go out to one of the locations, Apex Entertainment in Albany is a place I go a lot. It's a family entertainment center. Families come through. It's not designed to be the same kind of competitive scene as a place that would host. Just isn't. So sometimes I'm playing out there, and if I can catch it right and the staff are around, I get a really good, strong competitive game. And if it's not, then I go in and I play for accuracy, because I'm not going to beat up on a little kid. That's not fun for that doesn't keep them coming back, which is what I want to see happen. Yeah. Because if they don't come, I'm just sitting there.
Exactly. You can't play by yourself.
Right.
Yeah. This ain't golf. So you kind of we'll circle back to Fake Nats, and again, apologies DK if I stand on your toes, but
no, go for it.
You obviously had an event. Do you want to tell us a little bit about the event and the event as a whole?
Sure. Well, as a whole, Tiviachick's Tag for a Cause is something that I tried to get kind of on its feet last November. And my concept kind of came out of this whole, the time that we were in the pandemic and we didn't have laser tag. I started getting involved with some virtual run walk events. And you know how lots of charities will host a run walk for a 5K or a 10K or whatnot. Mm-hmm. I had never done one of those before. I was not the kind of person who was going to sign up for a run and then be left in the dust by 500 people. But these charities, they all still needed some support, and they could not get 500 people to be together, obviously, during this pandemic. So they were all going virtual. So I started signing up for these run walks thinking I can do this on my own. And the premise of them was pretty much all the same, where you would make a donation to the cause, you would be sent some kind of swag, be it a medal or a t-shirt or whatever the charity was doing. And then you were on your honor to go run or walk that 5 kilometers. And so I started doing that, and I was having with that, and that's what I did in place of laser tag when I couldn't go anywhere. And then laser tag gradually started to open up, and I thought this is really something that could be transferable. And I thought if we could just do the same kind of principle and pick a cause, then you do the same thing. I don't want to touch the money. I want it to go directly to the cause, but you show me that you made the donation and I will send you a piece of swag, and medals were the thing that I was able to cultivate on my own. And then it's on your honor, you will do 5 kilometers of laser tag in any arena, anywhere. Just go out and play laser tag and support these local arenas on your own terms, on your own time. And then you've done something good the same way these virtual walks were all happening. So that was where the idea came from originally. My very first one, Apex Entertainment, was the first local laser tag that was open in this area at that time when I was planning. So they were kind enough to host my very first one. And then my second one we did at QSR Toledo. And the third one, the third official Tag for a Cause night, is yet to happen. And it's going to be at Loveland Laser Tag in Colorado. But in between time, sort of felt badly that, had the Fun Warehouse been open, certainly they're my home site. I would like to involve them in some way. So when Fake Nats was happening, I thought this is a great opportunity to kind of introduce the idea here and try and get a little bit of good spin for what's going on, and do a mini high score competition. Because at each of these events so far, I've done a high score contest, and it's something where we'll be giving away a special prize. In fact, the trophy is actually going to be better than this. I've got somebody making a slightly better one. Yeah, golden phaser is what we gave away in Syracuse. And so we're going to have another in Loveland. And the idea was just to make it a side event with Fake Nats, and tell people that you've already done 5 kilometers. Obviously, if you were in Fake Nats, you did 5 kilometers probably the day you got to Syracuse. It's about games usually. So I run with the premise that you did things out of order. You already did the 5K. So if you make it to the charity, you'll get a medal. And these are the cool swag medals with little okay. And then that would also make you eligible for the mini high score contest. So what we did as the side event in Syracuse is we had anybody who donated got a chance to be in the event, and we did 2 rounds of masters, from which we pulled the top 10 scores. And of those top 10 scores, then they all went in for a third and final round of free-for-all solo. And from there, it was going to be top score out of any of those games, whatever the top score happened to be. And Odin's Fist from Sacramento ended up taking it out of the prelim win. So he took home the first ever Gen 8 Golden Phaser.
Oh, that's so cool. Well done, Odin's Fist.
Yep. I would like to point out that all Sacramento people who attended Fake Nats brought home a first place trophy of some kind.
I'm just happy that Beans didn't win. That's just me.
But it was a nail biter though, because by the time it got down to the final seconds, it wasn't Beans against Odin's Fist. It was Beans against the clock, and 2 tags in either direction were what made the difference.
That's insane.
Yeah,
it's. Oh, I really want a medal.
The way you can get a medal, because you don't have to be. Oh, you're overseas, but you know what? Maybe we'll make it. We'll figure this out.
It is actually some
mailing and whatnot.
There is something actually that I'll probably hit you up about afterwards, because obviously we have our little niche community here in Auckland. We were talking about doing another potential local-ish competition, and if that ends up happening, then we might work in the 5K into that as well, and then I'll just send you I'll send you some shipping monies.
A lot of medals over at one time is different from me sending out
100%.
30 different packs.
Exactly right.
Correct. Having done enough shipping for myself, down to New Zealand for people for things, it's like, oof. Yeah, one shipment, not 10. You definitely want to do that in one shipment.
So
Jesus.
we had a question in chat from Lucidin, who is based in the Czech Republic, and they have a competitive force scene over there, but I think they want to get on board as well. So it might be the same kind of scenario, Lucy, where you pay, you do an event, you send one, list of how many you need, and then you save on shipping that way.
Yeah, figure this out. I would be certainly open to figuring out how we can expand this.
That'd be amazing.
I just tried to not get in over my head, which is why we said U.S. addresses.
I think that's probably a smart place to start.
Yeah, that is probably the ideal place to start, because, like I said, having been the person that's had to ship things to Australia and New Zealand before for like band merch and stuff like that. Yeah, if you can do that in one shipment and not have to do it in 4 or 5 shipments, oh my God, do it in one shipment, not 4 or 5 shipments. It's ridiculous. Plus, also just with the time delays right now of getting things from point A to point B. I mean, it's not like metals are perishable or anything, but like I had to send something to Australia recently, and I sent it like the beginning of June, and it just got there literally 3 days ago. So that was fun.
Speaking of perishable, I was just gonna say that the medals, do they have chocolate in them?
No, these are made of a resin. Folded these myself. These came right off of my kitchen table.
That's awesome.
Now, what I did, well, I'll tell you about my crafty
Please
projects.
do.
I folded Golden Phaser 2.
Oh, that's so cool.
I don't know if anybody saw this in the Armageddon group, but last Christmas, I thought I was hungry for cookies. Going somewhere with this. And I decided it would be kind of cool to have some laser tag cookie cutters.
That's
so
awesome.
I commissioned them from somebody who did 3D printing. And this started as a cookie cutter. And I cut a bread dough cookie, and I molded it in silicone, and I poured some rosin, and voila, we have a trophy.
Oh my God, so awesome.
So I go with these. I commissioned the design that I wanted, and got a mold sent back to me, and I just mold a bunch of these on my kitchen table. It's really high tech how we do it. And I just somebody else in the Laser Force community, because Slade, Dr. Feelgood, who was from Loveland area,
Yep.
he is helping me with doing the next metal design, and I'm so excited to see. I've seen the base of it, and it's going to look awesome. So every quarter I do a different one of these. I pick a different charity, do a different metal design, and if you're in the US, I send them individually out. So the way that it works is go to my website, tiviachickloveslasertag.com, and right on the homepage, there's a little starburst with a link that takes you to the special event page for the quarter. So this quarter, we're supporting the Doreen Katz Memorial Cancer Foundation. And if you go to that link, it'll walk you through the steps. If you want to do this, wherever you are in the US, if you go to the link, you make your donation directly to the Doreen Katz Memorial Cancer Foundation, which is a fantastic cause. Then they will send you a receipt that has a little ID number on it. And all you have to do is fill out the form on the webpage and plug in that number so that I can see that a donation was made. And voila, I send you the medal. You're on your honor that you will do 5 kilometers of laser tag. And so that's how it works ongoing. And I've had people who've done every one so far. And so you can build up a little collection, and we'll keep giving this some momentum and see how far we can take it. But thus far, it's been every quarter with a new theme, a new charity, and a new medal.
Nice.
I especially like the fact that you've chosen the Doreen Katz Memorial Foundation on this particular run. Are you able to give a little background of what the charity is, or?
Yes, absolutely. Doreen Katz herself passed away from cancer many years ago, and her husband Adam is the one who actually runs the foundation. Now, Doreen was from my neck of the woods. She actually lived in the Albany area, so there's a little bit of a connection to my area from there. I met Adam for the first time when he was hosting a laser tag fundraiser a couple of years back at GameWorks in Denver. And I went out there, and I didn't really know a whole lot about what he was doing. I knew about the foundation, and I knew that the purpose behind it is really to try and help keep life as normal as possible for the children of cancer patients. Because when a parent is going through cancer, there's all these medical expenses and all this stuff that nobody had anticipated, and mom and dad are dealing with so much that in some families that might mean that you don't have the extra funds available for the extracurriculars, which I didn't realize. I learned that in some states, like in Colorado, even some things that we might take for granted as being part of the just part of your school education, sometimes there are extra expenses to the parents for that. And so this foundation tries to keep life as normal for the kids, whether it's something that they need, something for school, something for therapy, something even just for socialization. I know that Adam's working right now on a technological development to be able to connect families that are going through similar things in their own kind of private network so that they have a support system. And that through that, he's able to connect families, even those that are outside of the states where he currently has the foundation set up. It's just exponentially broadening what can be done. So the purpose of the foundation is to show support in whatever way is needed to the children of parents who are going through cancer themselves.
That's really amazing.
It really is. That's awesome.
I remember growing up, my best friend from high school, he lost his mum to cancer, and I remember that was really hard on the family. So having something like having a foundation that kind of looks at the
whole picture,
yeah,
the holistic view,
the side parts that are always affected, because obviously, like it's it's rough on the person going through it, but it's rough on the family as a whole. So having a foundation that's kind of stepping into to put some money in behind families that need it is amazing.
I think it's a very important cause, and I lost my own brother to pancreatic cancer. Now he was grown, children were grown, but it still hurts. It's a loss no matter what. And that's why the very first Tag for a Cause program that we supported was the Lustgarten Foundation for Pancreatic Cancer Research.
Wow.
And
That's,
so it's close to my heart.
It makes me very, very happy and a little bit misty to think that laser tag and somebody's passion for laser tag is also helping to raise money for amazing causes. I lost my dad 2019 to lung cancer, and so anything to do with kind of raising funds for cancer is I think it touches everyone. It's very, very close to home subject for most people. So
I don't think that anybody can honestly say they don't know somebody that hasn't been impacted by some form of cancer in some way, shape, or form. So and something like this that is genuinely taking this holistic view of, it's like, obviously, like you said, Steve, obviously the person going through the cancer treatment stuff, like, that sucks. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. That is fucking terrible. But yeah, it is kind of, it's very often overlooked, the wider impact that that is having on not only the immediate family unit, but the extended family unit as well. So being able to support a cause that is looking at that holistic view and trying to make everybody's life in the situation. Give them something that even for a brief time they can forget their reality and be and have fun before they have to kind of come back into the reality. These type of distractions are important for mental health for everybody at that point. And we on this channel are definitely big proponents of positive mental health. So
Well, and
yeah.
it's no accident that this cause is what we chose to pair up with doing an event at Loveland Laser Tag. Because as I said, a couple of years back, when I first met Adam, I showed up at one of his fundraisers and I said, this will be fun. I want to play at GameWorks. And then I learned so much about what his program is all about. And I also want to just give a shout out to what an amazing experience his fundraisers have been, because he had run several years of laser tag fundraisers at GameWorks in Denver, which I understand is closed down at this point. The first one that I showed up at, we're playing Laser Force, by the way. And
Yes.
I was playing on a team, I kid you not, with Olympic athletes. He had
That's
Olympic
awesome.
They brought their real medals to show the kids and the adults.
That's so
And
cool.
I, of course, with Olympic medalist Matt Thoman, and oh my goodness, it was just such an amazing experience all the way around. And he had a silent auction, and they had food, and they brought the families that the foundation was taking care of, and because the organization. I believe they began in Denver. Denver and Arizona, I know, are kind of keyhole states that they are involved with, and they're branching out. The foundation serves several states, not all states, but as I said, they're working on a technology to be able to bridge families from other places as well. But the home base for this starting really kind of started in Denver, and they had that laser tag fundraiser, and then pandemic. GameWorks is not there. Loveland being very close by and already having some connection, because the last time around there were some Loveland players who came out to the last fundraiser that they had there. I know that Josiah from Loveland was very vocal about wanting to bring a fundraiser up that way, and of course then everything happened. So it just seemed like a really natural fit that once things could happen, once things could return to some semblance of almost normal, that would be the ideal place. And for various reasons, it just seemed like this was the best fit right now for, perhaps there will be other types of fundraisers down the road, but for what I'm doing, I can sort of substitute this as the fundraising means for them and still keep that laser tag component, because that's how I became introduced to them, was that they were fundraising already using laser tag.
It's such a great mix. It's so good. Shout out to Jeff Willie, by the way.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Jeff has been so supportive of this. And Jeff is actually going to donate $4 from each all-you-can-play pass from the night that we do the Tag for a Cause to the Dorian Katz Memorial Cancer Foundation. So I really thank him for
awesome.
doing that. One more reason to go out and purchase your all-you-can-play pass that night. So
100%.
For sure.
Do you have the date? I don't have the date handy.
September 18th.
September 18th. Nailed it.
Yes.
Yep. Well, I just wish I could play on a laser tag team with Olympic athletes now, because you better believe if I were in the arena with Olympic athletes, I would be trying so hard to beat them just so I could have that on my resume the rest of my life. Yeah, I beat Olympic athletes in laser tag. Yeah, it was great.
Competitive pretty quick. He had a and I forgive me, I'm drawing a blank. But we had another individual who had been an Olympic athlete as well. And forgive me, she put me on the spot, and I can't pull up her name right now. But there were a couple of people who showed up, and it was just really cool to see that happen, and to see the interactions that they had with those kids.
Yeah, that's great.
I've already.
Wanted to take medals with the athletes, and how often do you have that experience?
Oh, it's so good.
Of an Olympic athlete wearing a Laser Force pack. If you go back to, I want to say 2018, somewhere on my blog, there are pictures of this whole thing.
I've I recently beat a All Black, who are the national rugby team of New Zealand. I recently beat an All Black at mini golf. That's my claim to fame. So the next thing will be to get them into into a laser tag vest of some sort, probably Force. But the gold medal that I won on the day happens to be filled with chocolate. So
And it survived?
I'm gonna cast that in some sort of plastic and hang it on my wall.
Waste of good chocolate.
Yeah, either that or I'll eat it at some point where I have like terrible night bites.
I think option B sounds a lot more likely than option A. I'm just gonna throw that out there, bro.
yeah.
Just save the wrapper. You'll know what it's for.
I'm surprised. I've had it for a couple of weeks now, and it calls to me in the wee hours of the morning. Steve, eat me.
Kind of interesting the things that you win at laser tag. So you won a chocolate medal, which I've never encountered.
To be fair, it was my wife that organized the event, and I was kind of hoping I would get a chocolate medal just for participating. So
You might have.
I might have, yeah.
She might have. I'm pretty sure that she might have just kept one aside for you just because she's that good.
She's like, you're a winner in my book. Here's the medal.
So what else can you tell us about the event on September 18th, Tivia, for people who want to come and show up and buy an all-day pass or an all-you-can-play pass? What kind of stuff can we expect?
Sure. Well, the all-you-can-play pass, as I say, if you purchase that, then you will very easily be able to complete 10 games that night. I would love to believe that people would be like me and keep track on their Fitbit or a watch, but realistically, I'm not thinking that everybody will do that. So you can just use 10 games as a ballpark estimate. Although if you want to use, a tracker on your iPhone or your smartphone, whatever, there's lots of ways that you can just stick it in your pocket and keep track of how much you're moving. And you'll be amazed how much you move in laser tag. I really had no idea just how athletic we were being. But for that night, you can donate without having to stick around the entire night. You can donate and play a few games, or you can donate and play the all-you-can-play. And with the all-you-can-play, every other game is going to be a standard game alternated against whatever specialty games or whatnot that they do during their all-you-can-play night. So we're going to do a high score trophy, and it will be compiled of all the high scores from all the standard games that we play throughout the night. So it'll be different from what we did in Syracuse, but people who do play all night will have all the opportunities that they can to raise that score and get it higher. And if you just want to accomplish 5K and you don't want to be in the competition for whatever reason, that's fine too. Play whatever games you want. Play as many as you like. My intention is I'm going to earn my 5K medal in Loveland by doing the special games and then sitting out of the competition games where I have to keep track and pay attention. So I'll be doing that. But like I say, every other game will be. And by making your donation and getting involved with Tag for a Cause, everybody will get their medal. If you're in Loveland, you'll get this on the spot. If you're not in Loveland, fill out the form and you'll get it mailed to you. But if you're coming out for the night, we will have them right there on the spot for people to claim. We'll assume that either that night or somewhere along the lines, you'll finish your 5K. But the high score competition will be ongoing throughout the night. Every other game that's standard, either a standard team or a free for all, we're going to just try and keep the scores. We don't want to have like an escalation game and blow everything out of the water with that. So we want to keep it kind of reasonable. And so at the end of the night, we'll give away another trophy with another golden phaser.
Here's probably the most important question: is the mold still able to be used for cookies, or is that ship sailed?
No, I didn't use the mold. What I did, the cookie cutter is still good. The cookie cutter cuts cookies and nothing else. I can't speak. I cut a bread dough cookie to make the base for this.
All right.
From the cookie, I molded. I ran the silicone across it and made my silicone mold out of that.
That's so cool, man.
It'll be because you don't want to mix your mediums.
I'm glad because I was worried. I was worried there was no more cookies.
Full of phaser cookies to the Fun Warehouse the day that they opened. I was the first customer through the door when they were able to reopen after COVID.
So good.
And I said, this staff needs some reward.
Yes.
It's actually
Yes, they did.
That's a timely thing because as a general PSA, go out and support your local Laser Force arenas, kids. COVID has been a rough time for everyone, but especially for a business that relies on people coming through the door. So, go out and support your local laser tag, and if you need a reason, do it for charity. Right, DK, have you got another couple?
I think we did a good job of getting through most of the questions in an organic fashion for the interview, so that was perfect. These were great techniques here, Steve.
Thank you.
The only other thing I really have left is, given how the event went in Syracuse and how the events have unfolded so far, what kind of expectations or hopes do you have for the future for expanding this even more?
Well, I think that doing this with a tournament was a really good acid test for how will it play out with a more serious community than just the public that had been showing up at my previous ones for the most part. And I thought that really went over well. We had a very good turnout, a lot of support shown. I'll wait till after Colorado before announcing any actual numbers, but we're really ahead of the game as far as doing the fundraising. So I think adding on another event was a great thing, and bringing it to a base that truly cared about laser tag made a difference. I think that they were more receptive to hearing about what it was and paying attention to that. Sometimes getting the attention of the public is not quite that easy. So I think in ways I kind of really have to rely on the support of people who are true laser tag players, whatever their system. I'm already in talks to possibly do something similar with this at another similar kind of tournament event somewhere else. So Syracuse was really a great running start to see, will this work, and our tournaments the way. I've had discussions with 2 potential tournament places just as a way of reaching the members first, and then any public that jumps on is gravy. Because you got to figure that the people who are paying attention to what I'm doing, who are visiting my website, are the laser tag players.
It's us.
Yeah. It's definitely a niche market, and like we like to say that we are a niche of a niche because of where our focus is. Tag players, serious tag players in general, it's not a huge niche.
Right.
But it's a very passionate niche.
No question. And it's been a learning experience for me, trying different things to see what would work. And even though this is my 3rd quarterly event, and I really consider Colorado the event, this is like Syracuse is like 2.5 to see what do we do compared to the 1st and 2nd events that I've done. And every step of the way, it's been growing. So I'm optimistic, and I think that really playing to the member bases at different places is going to be a good way to keep this growing.
Have you gotten
a great experience playing laser tag and traveling to different places?
True story. I mean, a lot of us can attest, and speaking for myself, like Laser Force has taken me around the world. It's taken me to multiple countries, multiple cities in those countries. And I don't think I would have traveled nearly as much if it wasn't for tag.
Same thing here. I haven't played in other countries except for Canada. One of my goals, once it's feasible again, is to travel to other countries. But a while back, I set a goal for myself to play laser tag in every state, and I was able to accomplish that. And awesome. The adventures that I've had along the way with that have just been amazing. Every state has a different story, and there have been some really cool things that have happened along the way. Alaska actually was kind of an interesting experience for me because I piggybacked that onto a trip. I already had to be on the West Coast for another event, And so I turned it into a week-long vacation where I started in California and I drove my way north, just up the coast, hitting every arena that I could until I got to the location that I was ultimately supposed to be at, was in Seattle. But I had about a day or so in between where I said, you know, I will never be closer to Alaska than I am right now. I'd better take this opportunity. So I hopped a flight. One day I was in Alaska, and it was a Wednesday of all things. So I called ahead to make sure, if I show up in Alaska on Wednesday, will there be somebody there to play against me? And they said, yes, of course, there'll be people. So come on by. Well, yeah, they had people. What they did, unbeknownst to me until I got there, I got to Alaska, and I thought the coolest thing was that there was a Blockbuster video there. So I detoured to Blockbuster before I went to the arena. I didn't know that there was any particular time that I needed to be there. But as it turns out, the arena, which was Extreme Laser Tag in Wasilla, their arena is sponsored by the Alaska National Guard. So they had a newspaper reporter waiting there and a ton of National Guards people already playing laser tag, waiting for me to show up. And I just kept them waiting because I went to Blockbuster.
That's awesome. Way to make somebody feel welcome, Alaska. Good job.
And against the guard, oh my goodness, that was an experience as well. That was
hashtag laser goals indeed, Shawnee.
Yeah,
Sorry.
this should be a part of all military training manuals from now on, is that you have to play laser tag against Tivia in order to fully qualify.
Yeah.
Well, when you think about it, what better place for recruitment than a laser tag arena? It makes great marketing sense.
100%.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to a chocolate-filled rifle for when I go play lasers with the Alaskan National Guard.
You might get more than you bargained for, Steve. You should be careful on that one.
Yeah.
Steve-O.
How many states are there in the US?
50.
50, right. And you played all 50.
I've played all 50 states. I've returned to a number of them. I am right now, my arena count is what I'm working on now. Now that I've completed all 50 states, now I'm just seeing how many arenas can I get to. And I think the number sits at 368 right now.
Oh my God.
That's amazing.
One for every day of the year and then some.
Yeah.
I think my arena count right now is somewhere in the 50 to 75 range, because I used to do a lot more cross system play when I was younger, but I definitely don't think I've cracked three digits. I would have to totally go back and review, but I'm pretty sure I'm sitting in the 50 to 75 range, and I thought that was pretty good. Mid 300s, more than one for every day of the year is fucking amazing.
That's so good.
That is fantastic.
And I try and give them all like a little plug on the website. There is a list of all the places that I've been in order. It's listed under arenas. My website has all sorts of little gems of things that I've experienced along the way. There's a tab that says Tiv Plays Tag. Well, it shows, I need to add EXO, but it shows at least 20 different systems of laser tag that I've played.
Wow.
Have you played Lock On?
Was that?
Have you ever played Lock On? That might just be a New Zealand. It's a home-based system. It's like with a blue gun and we're a hit. It's great. It's so good. It was all the rage here in the early 90s.
The newest that I played, I just came back from a trip. Like 2 months ago, I was at the laser tag convention that's held in Parallel Amusement Expo in Las Vegas. And so I thought, again, thinking, what's reasonably close to me? I got to Las Vegas, and then I said, well, I got a day to spare. How about I drive to California? And the reason I went to California was twofold. First of all, shout out to all my friends from the Jungle Zone Laser Tag in Glendale, because I met some great people. And when they heard I was coming back to California, they arranged a special night for me to come play at another local facility. So I said, okay, they've made arrangements. I'm going to go out and we're going to have some fun. And then the next day I went to a place called Laserland in West Covina, California. And that was a special destination because it made some special arrangements. The founder of this brand new system out of Russia called XO. It's EXO laser tag. They've opened up a site. The only site currently in the United States with this equipment is in West Covina. And so I said, I got to play that. I'm not going to get that close to California and not play some XO laser tag.
True story.
Interesting.
Russian.
And I've got
laser
to
tag.
Okay.
add to the tab. So it's like 21 different systems, maybe.
And the St. George Laser Force is also only about an hour and a half from Las Vegas. So if you're ever back in the neighborhood, there you go.
Continuing on the story, because I don't just go to one destination ever. The course of my trip went like this. I was a standby flyer, and during that time, that was like right before the 4th of July. And so travel was a little bit iffy as far as if you could get where you wanted to go. I didn't get to Las Vegas right away. I ended up detouring through Phoenix, which was perfect because I was able to meet up with Adam Katz and found out some of the details about what we were going to do with this fundraiser. Then I drove up to Las Vegas, and then the next day over to California, hit a few sites, play XO, come back. I was going to visit with a friend of mine who lives in Las Vegas, and she came down with COVID.
Oh,
She's
no.
fine now. Could not visit with her. So I had this extra day before the convention. And can you guess where I went?
St. George.
I went to and they gave me such a beautiful welcome. I walked in, and I'm totally unannounced. Nobody knew that I was coming. And I don't think anybody would know who I was anyway, so it didn't matter. But I walked up to the counter, and it was a quiet time, so there was nobody around playing at that particular moment. And I asked, is there any chance maybe a staff member or whatnot? And before I even got to make my case, some guy I don't know walks up behind me, and he says, "Wait a second, are you Tivia?" And I like, what just happened there? I'm on the other side of the country. And it was somebody who had seen the blog, and he said, "You treat this girl like a member. She's from Syracuse."
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
they called people, and so I got to meet Metal Face. Forgive me, I don't remember people's real names. Logan, the manager from out there, and a couple of other guys. And so they called up a few people, and we had a handful of games while I was just in St. George on a lark, and then I headed back to Vegas so I could be on time for the convention the next day.
That's so good.
To be fair, we don't really do real names too often either. So,
Unless it's an emergency, right, Steve?
Yeah, that's right. I'm called DK.
Yeah, that's
Dave once in my life.
Yeah, that's actually how we know something is super serious. Suddenly, a real name gets thrown out there, except for Steve-O, who is always just Steve-O. That's just how that goes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry,
even
bro.
I don't think most of them know my real name. I'm just Tivia.
Yeah. The more syllables your code name has, the more likely it is that somebody's just gonna call you by your real name. But that's awesome that
Guy
this
next door.
exactly.
Steve-O. Yeah, Steve-O's easier.
Yeah. It's awesome that the St. George guys put out like such good hospitality. But they are known for being. Sorry, what was that?
They were a lot of fun to play with. My only regret is that the timing was such. I showed up on a Monday, and their members' night is on a Tuesday.
Right.
If I had shown up, it would have been like the whole crew would have come out. As it happens, I mean, there were 5 of us total, but had that gentleman behind me, not known the blog, they might not have called up a bunch of people. But I'm very appreciative that the ones who showed up came out. And I got to introduce them to something new too, because of course Laser Force has photon emulation.
Indeed, it does.
Not a true photon
Great game. It's a great game.
So those guys had never played photon, so I got to give the briefing and explain to them how you play photon.
That's
so
awesome.
They had a new experience as well as me getting to play New Arena, which was kind of cool.
Photon.
Yeah, the first time that we met, before I even knew who you were, the night that I got to Syracuse, the first game I jumped into was a photon emulation game, and whoever was the marshal, asked, "What do you guys want to play?" And I think you popped up and said, "Let's play photon." And I said, "Oh, well, here's a person of culture."
Yes, not wrong.
I say let's play every night. It's very rare that somebody backs me up.
We used to play it on a well, not a regular, but it used to pop up, every month or so. Back when Than used to live in our neck of the woods.
Yes, I would pretty much insist that we played it because the game is fucking awesome, and you have to respect the reason why Laser Force is a system. Without Photon, Laser Force never happens for a variety of reasons.
We don't need to get into the reasons.
Most of which we're not going to get into on the stream. But
I'll fight you.
Yeah.
But you are correct about that.
Yes, no, I'm painfully aware of some of the history, and it's like, nope, we're not going there right now. But yeah, without Photon, Laser Force never exists. So, you know, being able to, I mean, obviously, yeah, it's not proper Photon. You don't have a helmet on, which was definitely part of the gameplay and whatnot. But being able to play at least play with the correct mechanics is such an interesting thing. It's like this is where we came from, and look where we are now. But it's such a great team game. You know, if you can get a relatively balanced arena and some relatively balanced teams, so good, so good.
Look at his face
And
light
people
up.
just are like, the game's too slow. I don't like this game. Fuck all of you. It's a great fucking game. Play more of it.
Yeah,
It's
except
probably
you
my second favorite game after Space Marines.
understand we only play Photon solo, but that's
Yeah.
something's better.
Yeah, it might be something we put on the menu, I think, when lockdown lifts in our neck of the woods. Might have to make I wouldn't be surprised if there were people that hadn't played it that currently come to members nights in Auckland. So we might have to chuck a couple in there to school some of these children.
And you know, there's so many great games that just don't get brought out as regularly as I think they should. I mean, I know you guys are all about SM5, and that's great, but for just enjoying the whole menu of what Laser Force has, like, I love Escalation, I love Redline. Those are, well, I guess who's kidding who? I just like to see a big score.
Who doesn't?
Well, you've also got two of us here right now that don't have sites to play at, so we haven't really played the new games yet. So yeah.
Yeah, I was like, those are very new, but you're definitely preaching to the choir here. I've always said that we should sample the whole menu of games, especially when we're even just if we're warming up. We don't have enough to play Space Marines yet. We'd almost always do something, and I've always liked Photon as a warm up game, but yeah, bring out the Time Warp, bring out Gladiator, bring out some other games. Just, you know, stretch some different muscles.
Quite like Huntsman.
Time Warp's amazing. I love that game too.
Huntsman is a very good game, one of the newer ones. It's kind of a, I don't know, it's basically dead aim.
It's dead aim on fucking steroids. Is what that game is.
It's an interesting game playing it in St. George.
What was that, Tivia?
I was saying I don't think I've played Huntsman yet, but I didn't hear.
Yeah, it's I think in the Gen 8 recent release for Laser Force, it's in amongst the you know, half a dozen games or whatever that they had released on that, and I think it's the only one of those that I've played. But yeah, it's pretty fun. Lucy said before, sorry Lucy, I saw your message. Apparently the Czech Republic are developing their own system called Laser Starter. So you might have to add that one to the list. You know, it's not Gen 8, I guess.
Well,
We become Gen 8 snobs as well.
Well, I mean, if you can't make a cookie cutter out of it, is it even worth playing?
playing, and I played some interesting ones, and some that you've never heard of because they just aren't around to play. Like, of course, the St. George site is called Lasermania, but I don't know if you know, there is a system called Lasermania developed in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, and that's the only place in the United States you can play that. It's a little similar to Laser Runner, but it gives you to give you an idea.
Okay, well, that's pretty much all that you had to say.
every experience and play whatever systems are out there. And so, even those ones, like Laser Trooper, at last I knew there were 3 sites in the world that were using Laser Trooper. But I've had the experience with it. Personally, I love it. I think that's a really good hybrid between traditional and tactical. And there are some places that I really wish there were opportunities to play some things, and there are systems that I've just missed altogether. That time just passed and the systems are gone. So you've got to have the experience and document what you can, where and when you can. And so if ever I get to the Czech Republic, I would love to play that.
Actual reality was one of those that I managed to catch when they had a site in Modesto, California. It was close to the quest that was down there, and I happened to get like 1 or 2 games at the FEC that had it, and it was interesting, but that system didn't last all that long, really. So I was like, okay, well, it's in my CV, but it's not. I don't think you can find it anymore.
I played it one time, and if this site still exists in Pennsylvania, I think it may be the last active site in the world that has it. It was called Planet Trog. But I don't.
Awesome name. Planet Trog.
Mm-hmm.
You need to go rename your laser tag site right now, Steve.
I'm just gonna start renaming random things in my house. there's a Trog, Laser Trog over there. First place, Laser Trog. It's kind of mind-boggling that you could have less than a handful of sites globally that run off a very niche system. Like, did they invent it and then and then they have it in their own place, or is it like a company is like a force that has an HQ that were like, hey, you wanna run our system?
Well, Laser Trooper, I know a little bit of a story, and they are a brand that was created by Laser Max. So, of course, Laser Max overseas is very popular, and I know that they just opened up a site in Canada. But Laser Trooper is like a mobile version, really. That's not even fair to say. Here, I'll show you what Laser.
Yes.
I'll show you what it is.
I was kind of hoping for a tour.
So this is Laser Trooper. They made a trophy out of one of their phasers, and if you could see that,
actually, what I might do, I'm gonna quickly shift to this screen here, and then I can make your screen much bigger so people can see better. There we go.
Yeah, I don't know if I can reverse my screen to give you a walking tour, so forgive the shakiness of this.
That's
but
okay.
It looks like a rifle. It's got, the sorry, doing this in reverse. The back end there is where there's a speaker so that you hear what's going on. Ooh. And it has sensors on either side. So very much like with an iCombat Barracuda, if you turn it on its side, you've got a real advantage. If you were inclined to block sensors, which of course we don't advocate.
Shenanigans.
I'll just take a little walk around.
Yes, please. This is releasing all the dopamine.
Okay, so here we'll get a better look at some of the packs. The System T pack down here, but okay. So the ones I said in the beginning were gifted to me. These two, the Vector and the Stunner pack.
Wow.
Came from Arena owner. And right above them, sorry, as my finger covers my lens.
Yep.
Great. Oh, that's our Photon.
Beautiful.
Yep.
Look at that visor.
So, yeah.
And if anybody thinks it looks suspiciously like version 1 Laser Force, there is a reason for that. Moving on.
Yes, those brightly colored packs, which are actually very pretty.
That's
okay,
so cool.
yeah. Are in
got Qzar?
That's let me stop and think. Yeah, this is a V3 zone. So those are Well, you're from Australia. No, you're not from Australia. You're
Close enough.
gonna say that's where that came from. A good friend actually hooked me up from
That's awesome.
Australia. There's some questions. Where are we going here? It is so weird to be holding the phone at this angle. Forgive me. Anyway, got my Gen 6, some Laser Blast, some Laser Storm, and all these things have just kind of been really cool things that have stories behind them. And if you want to see the stories, most of it I've written up on the blog.
That's so cool.
Very cool.
So,
I
as for Laser Troop question,
noticed that your zebra print couch, I'm a big fan of.
thank you. It wasn't in storage for laser tag packs originally, but it has worked.
Let's switch back to here. There we go. That looks better. That's so awesome. Going back to the charity side of things. I'll try not to circle back too much, but have you managed to get like any of the head offices, or like Laser Force HQ, or the other tag equivalent organizations? Have they kind of thrown in any backing or expressed any kind of interest or anything like that in what you're doing, or is it more like on a site level?
If you mean the manufacturers, it is so new right now. I hadn't even begun approaching anybody on a manufacturing level. My second event was hosted by QZR Toledo, and of course, the owner there has a zone connection, being a VP in that company, and Jeff Willey, of course, working for Laser Force. So I'm really seeing them on site levels, but I have been working with people who are higher ups in those companies. I will say that a gentleman did approach me at the Laser Tag convention from Laser Blast, offering the idea of support. We just didn't know how to connect the pieces, and doing this quarterly, that's thinking a little bit further out, because I already had some things pre-planned for this. But the fact that he came up to me and said, if there's a way that we can help, we'd love to. I appreciated that very much. I didn't reach out to anybody yet, other than through sites. And I think right now I'm still in that getting your feet wet, seeing how to make this smooth and seamless. Right now, to be perfectly not smooth and seamless yet, but it's on its way, doing something. And so
I suppose it's I don't know if it's a risk, but like a consideration would be if you did have the backing of one organization in particular, I would imagine that they'd want kind of you to play their system exclusively, which is a little limiting, right?
Well, overall, I've tried to be Switzerland and stay as neutral as possible with by loving every system. You don't alienate anybody.
Yeah.
And I so much of laser tag, so I'm not affiliated with any system.
Cool.
That actually was something that kind of flitted through the back of my head. But it's to your question. I mean, the fact that he came up to me was just a discussion and a starting of saying, hey, we see what you're doing. That's cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but as far as connecting, I think right now I'm probably going to do more good by continuing to love everybody.
100%. I think so.
Because I do play every system, and I enjoy. There's something about every system that I enjoy. Even the systems that are not my favorites, there's still something great to take away from it. And I would still go to a site if I was nearby and just have a laser tag experience, because every experience is different.
And that's, I would imagine, is very consistent with your brand, your personal brand, right? You love laser tag. So yeah, being affiliated or being pigeonholed is probably not great. Although we kind of very much pigeonhole ourselves on a regular basis.
Accurate.
But we're a group of terrible Space Marines players, which are the worst of the laser tag community. No, just kidding. Just kidding.
We're just the worst.
DK, did you have anything else on your list?
No, I don't have anything else on my list. We even got the tour, which I was going to inquire about, but didn't want to push too hard because
Right
you
there
know,
with you.
I know it can be difficult when you're running everything off an iPhone. But thank you so much for coming on with us, Tivia. This was a fantastic interview, and we're so happy that you're able to organize these charity events and do tag for a cause because we like playing laser tag, and if we can bring a good outcome out of it, I think that makes us feel even better.
Well, thank
For
you.
sure.
I'm so glad I was able to join you guys. This was a lot of fun for me too.
I very much hope that we get to see you come down our way once the borders and stuff open up. If all going to plan, hopefully our government starts letting people in the country by mid next year. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. We're trying our very best to host something here, and you know, if we can run something in conjunction with that, or even prior to that, I would very much like to do that. But we'll talk about that, you know,
Sure.
Closer.
sometime in the near future. But yes, thank you so much for coming on. Honestly, I think part of the reason why it took me so long to reach out was I was a little bit nervous. Because you're kind of like laser tag royalty. So yeah, it's awesome to have you on. Thank you so much. I would imagine at some point we'd like to reach out again and you know check in after events and maybe delve into some more specific stuff. Rather than a general overview, although the overview has been outstanding. I could probably listen to you talk for hours about laser tag, which, you know, podcast. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but thank you. Appreciate it.
Well, thank you guys.
So, this will probably do us for this week.
Yep.
We will be back over the next week with some more streams. I'm back to almost 100% health, so I'll be streaming a bunch more of this over the next week. If you haven't already done so, please check out Tivia's website here, Tiviachickloveslasertag.com. If you want to organize your own event in conjunction, where's the best place to kind of reach out and make contact, Tivia?
You can email me at Tivia, spelled Tivia. It's Tivia at Tiviachickloveslasertag.com.
Yes.
Right.
If you want to reach out and you know participate in the event or maybe set up something, anything, reach out and because I know that we are very much keen to do the same here. But for this week, I have been Guy Next Door.
I've been DK.
And I've been Than.
And I've been Tivia.
Oh, you have been Tivia. Oh, almost cut you off.
Oh.
Rookie. Always remember to backtrack, kids. Enjoy. Stay safe. Stay sane. We'll see you next week. Kakite. Where's the button? Lost the button. There we go.
Technical issues.
I've been throwing daggers in the night. I've been one